Rituji, tell me one thing. When we talk about fashion, entire imagination is limited to the show. But then fashion is also about clothes. It's about sustainability. हिंदी में जैसे कहते हैं, इसमें कुटीर उद्योग भी आता है. Cottage industries also come. How can clothes, sustainability, and greenness in context of manufacturing can be enmeshed? Is it possible?
I think the whole world today is talking about green fashion. The whole world today is talking about sustainable fashion. The reason for that is, like Mr. Rashmiji said, that there is a lot of impact on the environment. There is a lot of kids today. I mean, I have a 15-year-old kid who comes home from school, and she is taught in school that you have to be very careful. It's your future in times to come. There's going to be no water. There's going to be, winters are going to be summers, and summers are going to, in simple language. And I think that is something that is the future for us, to have our kids understand the impact, because they are not going to understand all these, big words. They just need to understand that the world for you has to be a better place. And for that, you have to be as green, as careful, as vigilant as you can be. Coming back to what you said about fashion, I think we have to be very careful. We have to be very vigilant about what we buy, from the fabric to the garment.
And what we produce.
And of course, what we produce, because everything is not about, commercial, everyone is commerce driven. So it's a
May I add the third thing, ma'am?
Sorry?
What can be repurposed? Circular economy, which Prime Minister spoke about.
I agree. I think Mr. Modi has done an incredible job of creating awareness for the world, at least for our country. And I do believe that we are blessed with a fabric like Khadi. And, Khadi is a real symbol of sustainable fashion. It's a real symbol of a green fabric. There is zero carbon footprint. Khadi is, we used to call it the air-conditioned fabric, because you can wear it in the summer and in the winter. It's much, we always believed it was a fabric for politicians. It was for senior citizens or for older people. But today we have a lot of young people wearing Khadi, because they realize that there's so much variety. It's not very expensive. Of course, you can get a very expensive range of Khadi, but it is a true symbol of India, a true symbol of Make in India, and a true symbol of green India and a green fabric. So there are many options in this world. We just have to be careful, And I mean, it's very, very easy to put the blame on others and say they should do it first. I think each one of us needs to take that responsibility to create the movement. So as a designer, I believe that in my organization, I put a stop to plastic, for instance. I put a stop to anything that is not reusable, something that is not organic. For instance, Khadi is very, very organic. And
what do you think that Khadi needs to do, or Khadi should be doing, to even more broad base itself? There's another session, but because you spoke about Khadi, it's like a health food. It becomes a fad. It doesn't become your lifestyle. You slip back into your old habits. What is required to broad base this sort of a consumption?
Yeah, but
to popularize Khadi.
Like you said, it's health-based and not a lifestyle. If you don't make living healthy your lifestyle, it is useless to do these binge diets and binge short-term things. So if we really want to create a change, and if each one of us takes it upon ourselves, that the world will change because of me. Because I really do believe each person creates that difference, makes that difference, and creates that opportunity. So if each one of us take it upon ourselves that I'm responsible to change this world, I think there will be a change. I think there will be a difference that we will see. For instance, in my kids' school, everyone's carpooling. Mm-hmm. And at one time, each kid used to go in one car, maybe from the same destination. Now, that's a big change.
Okay. Do you think that celebrities and other people, in order to participate in the ambitious target which the Prime Minister has set, should also do an amendment to the lifestyle, because it ultimately boils down to an individual. 4 people can travel in a car, 60 people can travel in a bus, mass transit program. Ultimately, your individual acts make a lot of difference.
That's exactly what I said, that if each one of us take responsibility and feel responsible that we will make the change, there will be a change. For instance, I remember that...
Tell me, what do you do? How are you
For one,
a green conscious person?
like for instance, the carpooling is one thing. I try to reduce the use of our vehicles to the maximum. We try to, in the morning make a schedule. I'm talking about home stuff. We try to make a schedule so that there's 1 trip instead of 6 trips. That's one thing. When we go shopping, I mean, for my whole family, I try to make sure that everybody avoids shopping too much, and they try to use and recycle what they already have, which is a big thing, because...
Does that make you a popular person in your family?
I don't know if I'm popular or not, but they understand that it's for a good... I guess I save them a lot of money, so I help them recycle what they're wearing. I mean, the same sari can look very different if you rework it, instead of going and shopping and buying something new. Also, I started a trend in our setup. Tote bags are very popular, canvas tote bags. Everyone used to go shopping and pick up a shopping bag. And a lot of India and globally. Now, when you go abroad, they charge you for every bag you buy. It's a 0.25 cents or whatever. So I've told everybody, each one has been given a tote bag that you carry, and you don't use plastic, you don't use so many shopping bags. You have a tote that you chuck all your shopping into. I mean, these small things make a big difference, We are 1.4 billion people, am I right? 1.4 billion, or have we increased already?
1.2.
Because every time I think of the statistics, we've increased. So I think if we make that difference, we are a real trendsetter. We can show the world, and under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister, we are setting trends, because everywhere in the world that I go, they say, my God, your Prime Minister is a real star. The way he handled COVID, the way he does everything. You guys have the most popular economy, the most growing economy. So I think as people under a guidance of that and leadership of that kind, I think we can make all the difference.
In terms of making the difference...
Also, sorry, one more thing. Even beauty products now, when I talk about cosmetics, they are also very, very aware of organic and green products.
You have an organic boom. You have shops all around which says organic.
Yeah, but for a good reason, you see. And we can say that it's all blah, blah, and it's all talk right now, but it's the blah, blah that converts into real living. You have to start talking about it. You have to start telling people. When I became an advisor for KVIC in 2016, if I'd
Khadi,
been
that's Khadi. That's Khadi.
The people did not use Khadi. I never heard about Khadi. And then when we started working and we started talking about how trendy it is, how beautiful it is, every designer was doing Khadi. You were using Khadi for bridal outfits. I've done a bride in Khadi. For Diwali, people were wearing Khadi. So that was a change. It starts with one person, and then it escalates. So I think each one of us plays a huge role.
Rashmi ji, this word I used in context of fashion, but in context of our expanding economy. Prime Minister yesterday in his speech said he expects another no confidence vote in 2028, and will be a 3 trillion economy. It was part of a report in the Lok Sabha. But the point is that we are looking at a place where we are number 3 in the world economic order. In that context, what sort of disruption we need to bring about, in your experience, so that renewables get integrated into the non-renewables properly, synergize? Because we cannot say that fossil fuel will not be there. I think then someone is really living in a fool's paradise. They will have a role to play. But how do we increase the integration of the non-renewables and renewables?
Yeah. And as we discussed, it is happening. The transition or movement away from a fossil fuel based economy to renewable energy-based economy is happening now. As I said, in terms of capacity, electricity generation capacity, it's 42% that we can generate from solar, wind, nuclear, and hydro. But the challenge is to feed it into the grid and make it available to the consumer 24 hours of the day, 24 hours day and night. So that challenge involves producing energy in a manner which is green, completely green. And so and where is this energy consumed? So that is what is the real challenge, because energy is consumed in different kinds of economic sectors. We use it in our homes
Correct.
for lighting and cooling. The industry uses it to produce cement, steel, textiles, a lot of things, plastics, everything, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, and these are all highly heat-intensive industries. They are extremely high users of coal and fossil fuels. We have transport industry. The transport, we have